What happens when the world's most mysterious voice in K-pop finally breaks his silence with an album that no one saw coming? Could Kim Taehyung, known to millions as V from BTS, have just unveiled the most soulful chapter of his career yet? Before you scroll away, take a deep breath and dive into this emotional storm. Then tell us what you think in the comments below. Hit like if your heart skipped a beat. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that move the soul. The silence before the storm has always been Taehyung's signature. For years, fans have wondered when the deep, honey-coated voice of BTS's V would finally take the center stage it's so richly deserved. Now, the wait is over. With his latest solo album, Taehyung hasn't just released music, he's released a part of himself. And the result? A breathtaking blend of vulnerability, maturity, and raw artistry that's leaving fans around the globe in tears, awe, and disbelief. But what makes this album so hauntingly powerful? Is it the voice that sounds like velvet and smoke? The lyrics that cut deeper than a confession? Or perhaps it's the way Taehyung seems to whisper secrets we've all been afraid to say out loud. Each track feels like a door, some open gently, others slam in your face, but all lead to the same place. The heart of an artist who has grown, stumbled, healed, and returned stronger than ever. From the very first note, listeners can sense that this is not the Taehyung they thought they knew. Gone is the boy whose smile could light up a stadium. In his place stands a man whose eyes tell stories of solitude, late-night reflections, and the unspoken burden of fame. The album unfolds like a diary written under moonlight, soft, melancholy, but fiercely honest. It's not polished for perfection. It's painted with emotion. And that's exactly why fans can't stop listening. What is this feeling? One fan wrote on social media after hearing the opening track, "It's like he's singing straight to my soul." Another commented, "Taehyung doesn't just sing, he makes you remember what it feels like to feel." The reactions have been overwhelming. Within hours of release, hashtags related to the album trended worldwide. Not because of hype, but because people were genuinely moved. It's rare in the digital age for an album to stop time. But Taehyung seems to have done exactly that. The uniqueness of his voice has always been a subject of fascination. Critics describe it as a blend of smoke and silk, a tone that feels both ancient and futuristic. But this album takes that quality to new heights. His baritone glides effortlessly between whisper and cry, between longing and peace. It's as if each syllable carries a piece of his past, memories of standing on stage with BTS, of lonely hotel rooms, of quiet nights when the world slept and he didn't. The maturity in his sound isn't just technical, it's emotional. Every line drips with the wisdom of someone who has lived 1,000 lives in one lifetime. And yet, there's something almost unsettling about how intimate the album feels. Listening to it feels like eavesdropping on his inner thoughts, the ones he never says out loud. He doesn't shout. He doesn't need to. His power lies in restraint. In a world obsessed with noise and spectacle, Taehyung wins hearts by doing the opposite, by whispering softly enough that you have to lean in. You can almost imagine him sitting alone in a dimly lit studio, eyes closed, pouring his heart into a microphone as if no one were listening. Fans have noticed this shift in tone. The album isn't about showing off vocal range or breaking streaming records. It's about storytelling, sincerity, and stillness. It's about daring to be human in an industry that often demands perfection. Through his lyrics, Taehyung confronts themes of love and loss, self-doubt and rediscovery. He doesn't romanticize the pain, he acknowledges it, embraces it, and turns it into something beautiful. Each song feels like a conversation with the listener, as if he's saying, "I've been there too. You're not alone." The production is equally stunning. Rather than relying on heavy beats or flashy instrumentals, the music flows organically, allowing his voice to remain the focal point. Acoustic guitars, gentle piano melodies, and subtle strings create an atmosphere of nostalgia and longing. You can hear the influence of jazz, soul, and indie pop. But the result is uniquely his own, a sound that defies genre and transcends borders. There's a moment in the album, a quiet interlude that feels almost like a confession. You hear his breath catch, his tone tremble, and for a brief second, you forget he's a global superstar. He's just Taehyung, a man searching for meaning, connection, and peace. It's this humanity that has captured fans' hearts. BTS's V has always been charismatic, mysterious, effortlessly cool. But in this album, he's stripped all that away. He's not performing, he's revealing. And yet, that vulnerability doesn't make him fragile. It makes him fearless. The courage to show one's true self, especially under the unrelenting gaze of the world, is rare. It's what separates artists from idols. Taehyung has crossed that line gracefully, proving that music isn't about fame or numbers, it's about truth. The emotional weight of this album also reflects his growth as an artist. Since his early days with BTS, Taehyung has been known for his deep voice and magnetic presence. But here, we witness his evolution from vocalist to storyteller, from performer to poet. It's as if he's learned to channel every whisper of his heart into sound, turning his silence into symphonies. What makes this release even more surprising is how understated it feels. There were no grand announcements, no exaggerated build-up, just a quiet promise and an explosion of artistry. It's almost poetic. A man who once stood on the world's loudest stage now chooses to speak in whispers, and the world still listens. Perhaps that's the true power of authenticity. It doesn't demand attention. It commands it naturally. As fans replay the album, dissecting every lyric and tone, one question keeps echoing: who is the real Taehyung? Is he the soulful artist hidden behind smoky melodies? Or the dreamer still searching for home? The beauty of this album is that it doesn't answer that question. It invites you to wonder. It asks you to feel. It turns listening into reflection. Maybe that's why fans describe the experience not as hearing an album, but as living through one. Each track leaves an imprint. Each pause feels intentional. Each silence says what words cannot. It's the kind of music that lingers playing in your head long after it ends, resurfacing at midnight when the world goes quiet. In a world of algorithms and fleeting trends, Taehyung's music feels timeless. It reminds listeners that true art doesn't rush. It breathes. It takes its time to unfold, just as he has. And the more you listen, the more you realize that this album isn't just about him, it's about all of us. About the moments we hide behind smiles, the dreams we chase in silence, and the courage it takes to be real. Some critics have called this his most important work yet. Others say it marks the birth of a new era in K-pop, one where authenticity trumps perfection. But perhaps its greatest achievement is simpler. It reconnects people with feeling. It makes you stop, listen, and remember what it's like to be moved by music again. And as fans flood comment sections with messages of love, gratitude, and admiration, one thing becomes clear: Taehyung has touched something universal. His voice may belong to him, but his emotion belongs to everyone who listens. The connection between artist and audience feels electric, alive. It's as if the invisible wall between stage and crowd has crumbled, leaving only shared humanity. So, what's next for Taehyung? That's the question lingering on every fan's lips. Will he take this newfound sound to live performances, or retreat again into the quiet world he seems to cherish? No one knows, and maybe that's the point. Some stories aren't meant to end, they're meant to echo. One thing is certain: this album will not be forgotten. It's not just a collection of songs, it's a moment in time. A piece of Taehyung's soul captured in melody. And for those who have followed his journey from the beginning, it feels like watching a star finally align with its own light. So if you're reading this, wondering whether it's worth pressing play, don't hesitate. Put on your headphones, close your eyes, and let the music guide you. Feel the tremor in his voice, the ache in his words, the warmth in his silence. And when it's over, come back and tell us, what did you hear? What did you feel? Because that's what Taehyung's music does best. It doesn't just play in your ears. It plays in your heart. And long after the final note fades, you'll find yourself still listening, still feeling, still wondering. Maybe that's the true mark of an artist who has finally found his voice. Now it's your turn. What do you think of Taehyung's new chapter? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like if you've ever been moved by a song. And subscribe if you believe that real music still matters. Because somewhere out there, V is probably smiling quietly, knowing that his voice once hidden in the shadows has finally found its way home.